hosted as always by RBF Kyle
Better late than never.
and your boy Double Dose. Shout out to Shuba on our asses already. We get a text from him late in all caps and an entry. We're coming. Sometimes greatness takes a minute. Y'all just gotta, you know what I mean? Sorry for keeping y'all waiting, but we here now. Um, Coming after you guys from the absolutely freezing Midwest. It is been cold the last few days, and supposed to be even colder tomorrow and Saturday. Cannot wait for this. I'm in Chicago, as most of you guys know. Kyle's over there in the east side of Michigan. How's it been for you?
Man, it's been real cold, and both jobs I do require me being outside. So I wash windows and I plow snow. So yeah, I'm out there. We're layering up. We're putting hand warmers in our boots. It's getting real cold out there. We almost got swerved into today. People are just driving reckless, and we had this guy just like he's just cooking along, driving down, and then all of a sudden he just like whipped halfway into our lane, and the guy I'm with, he's got this hilarious voice. He's like, "Oh, geez, man, don't hit us!" It was really funny, but
Sounds like Morty from Rick and Morty.
a little bit. He's got a little Morty to him. Shout out Ed. He might be tuning in tonight. We'll see. I
Um,
love doing your impression, man. It's a utmost sign of flattery. Um, but yeah,
um,
man, it's been
this might be
real nipply out here.
the titty bit nipply.
Titty bit.
I I'm
Your mic sounds good.
this may be an ignorant question, but how do you wash windows in the cold like this? Like the water doesn't freeze and break them?
Yeah, we got our secrets, bro. I can't share those on this podcast. No, I'm kidding.
What the hell is
Uh,
that? If there's anyone you should be able to share it with, it should be us and the viewers.
I don't
Put
want
us
anybody
on
stealing our
game.
ideas, starting to steal our customers in the winter.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
no,
Never
I'm
mind.
kidding. I'm
Keep
kidding.
nope.
I'm
Okay. Keep your secrets.
no.
The moment's
No,
past. I don't even want to know anymore.
it's literally just methanol. We do liquid methanol, put it in our water, and it acts as
Meth,
antifreeze. And all. I
methanol.
don't know. That was
So
so
you take
stupid.
meth and add corn syrup, and or you add ethanol. You add corn gas. You mix that
Yeah,
together, and all right,
basically, pretty damn close.
you cooking something up like they were doing in the '80s.
Hey, it's not blue, so
Okay.
but no, yeah, we use that. Keeps it from freezing. It's still like it can get some of these days right now, like it can get really bad. Um,
Yeah.
and
This
you're
is
basically using no water, all methanol and soap.
why do people ask for their windows to be cleaned in the wintertime?
I mean, it's mostly commercial places. They get
Ah,
salt kicked up on them from the sidewalks and stuff. We
okay.
do
Yeah.
a couple crazy customers that want it done monthly all year
Can you
round, but
can you clean my car with that? Because my shit is looking like it's come out of the apocalypse. It looks disgusting right now.
that
I went in the
methanol
parking lot to get in my car yesterday, and everyone at my job, bro, the cars just look nasty. It's just dried salt on everything.
they don't got drive-through car washes downtown, do they?
It's 0 degrees, bro. It's 6 degrees yesterday.
They're still open out here.
Car washes?
Yeah.
It's just gonna freeze immediately.
No, they dry you off.
Today is the warmest day that we've had in days. It is 28 degrees outside, and it feels like summertime.
Yeah, it felt nice. Yeah.
Um, it's crazy, man. Being in Chicago is nuts with it too, because it's we don't get the amount of snow. Like I got way more snow when I lived in Kalamazoo, which is the other
Mm.
side of the lake. Like
You
Michigan.
guys
So that
get a ton out there.
yeah, so like this lake effect is crazy. But over here we don't get snow like that. I mean, we get some, but it's just cold. And they call it the Windy City. That collab of wind and cold in Chicago. Oh my god. I think this is winter 3 for me in Chicago. The first one was pretty easy. Last year was greasy, but
You
they
rocking a
said supposed to
shiesty
get to
everywhere? Just shiesty
nah.
up.
I'm black in Chicago. I can't be wearing a shiesty. It's just
Speaking
too many. There's too many organizations out here that the cops I'm black and I'm wearing a shiesty. The 3-letter one I'm brown and wearing a shiesty. Either way, I'm not trying to draw that attention to myself. Okay, so we've got aside from the cold, we got some topics to talk about tonight. We've got some NFL news from several different teams we're gonna get into. Talk about the national championship for a few minutes. Obviously got all due disrespect questions of the week. But before we get into any of that, real quickly, Kyle has informed me that he has started watching Power. I don't know if any of our viewers are watching Power, but I've seen all of the Power that's been released so far. You know what I mean? I'm ready for the next spinoff to come out. So this piqued my interest. I want to hear your first thoughts on the. You said you finished the season.
Yeah. Season 1's done in the books.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I might have one more episode. I can't fully remember. It's been a couple days since I watched, but I mean, so far, Ghost is just putting himself like in all these sticky situations. I mean, talk about meeting back. I can't remember old girl's name, the one from high school.
Angie,
Um, Angie,
Angela.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
rekindling that relationship and knowing what you're doing. I mean, you're on some thin ice. Tasha's a beautiful woman, man. You don't need to be stepping out on her like that. That ain't
Hey,
cool.
you see Tasha's out here on her own time though too. If I remember
Tasha
correctly,
is out
episode
here with the
episode
driver.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it started with he started it, but you're right. I mean, that doesn't mean you go and do that.
Hey,
Start.
she didn't know that he was in there with Angela when she left in that first episode.
Didn't she though? I thought she saw him. I think she
He
saw
did.
him and then dipped, and she didn't say anything to him. She just dipped, and then she
I,
called him out for it the next day.
he was talking to somebody. She did a little more than talk.
Yeah, that's that's true.
Hey, she cheated first. Tasha
That's
cheated
true,
first.
bro. That
um,
actor, he's in that sitcom with Cedric the Entertainer, and so it's so funny seeing the driver actor,
oh,
the
really?
chauffeur, and he's like plays this like wholesome former athlete. So it's so funny seeing him like this young buck like not knowing what to do when his boss's wife is clearly hitting on him. So funny, dude.
Have you watched
Um,
any of the other like crime shows?
um, like which ones?
So like Sopranos,
Sopranos. I started.
Ozark,
I got like through season 6 and then fell off. I need to
Ozark,
finish it.
the Wire, Snowfall, anything like that. Breaking Bad.
Ozarks for sure. Yep. I don't think The Wire or Snowfall though.
Okay. Do you watch Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
great show. But
Yeah.
this one, I mean, it's got its own like taste to it, and like you can feel because they're like, I mean, yeah. If you ever watch Animal Kingdom, it's a little similar vibe to that, in my opinion. Like they're out in the open with their crime. I mean, I guess they all kind of are, right? They all have to be at some point through the show. This one just started with they got to their money laundering scene like or their scheme on the first episode of the show. And you can definitely see, obviously, is it Wolf, his buddy? Um,
Tommy?
what's it? Tommy? Yeah, I thought he had a nickname too.
I don't think so.
Um, I guess not. But yeah, anyways, I don't know why I thought Wolf. I don't know. But yeah, Tommy, you can just see it driving the wedge between them. Tommy wants to keep things going how it's always been, keep our nose out of the media, keep our face out of the media. I remember like one of the last episodes, or maybe about halfway through, Ghost is posing for a newspaper picture, and um, yeah, he just comes in and grabs old boy by the shirt, and he's like, "We don't need that, bro." He just talks some sense into Ghost, and but yeah, you can definitely see, or at least I can kind of tell that that's foreshadowing for something bigger that's about to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the fact that Angie's on the team, actively tracking Ghost is insane.
It's about to
So
be a good one,
awesome.
dog. I'm ready to hear your thoughts as these continue. But all right, let's move over to the natty, dog. So we talked about I want to say maybe 6 months ago, maybe longer. It was during basketball season. It was when all the NBA players were having their big performances. We started with Jordan Poole, and it was like, hey, when the baddies are in the front row, and you going out there
Oh yeah.
having that crazy dropping 40 points and stuff like that. We even talked about like, all right, who would be who would be in our list to see to go out there and like if they were in the audience, you'd go crazy for. Um, man, I can't imagine being Carson Beck and throwing a game sealing interception in front of Abella Danger. That is a bad beat, dog.
That's a bad way to end your
the,
college career right there,
the
bro.
exact opposite of that. You had Joy Taylor, Abella Danger, and Michael Irvin all in the crowd. and
I
threw a
don't know why you're
game
throwing
sealing
Michael
pick.
Irving in there. I mean, I don't
I
know.
wouldn't want to disappoint Michael Irvin either. I'd be scared of him
Yeah.
finding me, dog. He'd be coked up with the belt. Like, oh man.
uh,
And ESPN, they are some funny people for doing that, dog, for throwing Bella up on the ground.
bro, that
The
was
memes
funny.
from that have been legendary too. That is hilarious.
That was so funny. Yeah. Yep. Pat, I was watching the Skycast with Pat and his boys right at that point in the game, and he, as soon as it happened and goes away, he's like, Miss Danger has graced us with her presence on the screen. Love that ESPN's showing that." Like, and then he just moved on. But I love
Hey,
that he addressed it.
fucking what is Ice Cube's son O'Shea Jackson responded to some tweet and was like, I mean, look, showing the goats at their individual sport on TV is what ESPN is for.
True.
um
They should have given her the name banner at the bottom and what she's known for.
right. Abella Danger mattress actress.
Yeah.
um it was
Mattress.
I as I've told people before too, I'm not nearly as up on college football as like you and Tofar.
Oh, I
But
thought you were gonna say corn stars, but never mind.
yeah. Don't even know what that is. But
Lexi's watching.
um you distract me. Oh yeah, I didn't realize as much of what this was of a deal until after the game was over. So the things that I've gathered from this, for one, they went undefeated, which is crazy. I think they said it was like the first time in like a century or something like that that
Yeah,
a team has
maybe.
gone.
I don't know if it's a century. Maybe this decade or yeah, maybe this century. Maybe
Maybe it was
like
turn of
since
the
the
century.
90s. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that might be what it is. Um, so yeah, first time in the 2000 anythings that someone's gone
Although
16-0.
I think Georgia did though in 22, so I don't know. Yeah, that could be off.
Okay. Regardless of
Sorry.
which, an undefeated season is insane for one. Um, for two, the coldest thing I've ever seen before was people posting the clips that I had not seen of Curt Cignetti last year when he got the job, and they said, "How are you going to recruit?" And he said, "I'm me, and I win. Google me." And then the next season, you go undefeated and win the national championship. That is the most gangster shit in the world. Congratulations to Curt Cignetti and the
Hmm.
Indiana Hoosiers.
All
That
due
is
respect.
all due respect, man. That is to say that is a bar in itself, but then to go out there and immediately win, that's so impressive. Um, Also, I know I found this out afterwards too that they had no 4 or 5 stars on their team. Usually, you having like some some 2 and 3 stars out here. They fight hard. That's usually a college basketball story, not a football winning story. So that's pretty impressive. But hey, ever
And in
since
this current
uh,
structure of NIL too.
well, that's what I was gonna say is ever since NIL started, the last 3 years, SEC, where y'all been at, dog? This has been Big Ten. This is U of M, Ohio State, Indiana. And as much as I don't like Ohio State, I am Big Ten man. So, hey, look at SEC. Y'all got to catch up.
Yes,
But
sir.
you are much more of a college guy. So let's hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I thought this was just it was a big game. You covered a lot of it there. It was a big game for everybody. Um, Mendoza obviously he made it very clear why he was the Heisman this year in this game. I mean, against that defense to just stay strong, keep the ball in your team's hands, and I mean to go run in for that last touchdown with all that heart. I actually saw there was a clip of him. He got smoked by that same player, 31. I can't remember his name, Bissant or something like that, and or Bissonant, whatever his name is. But he linebacker came in and smoked Mendoza when he was playing for was it West Virginia or whatever he was playing at before, and Mendoza's just on the ground rolling, and it flashes forward to that game, and Mendoza is pile driving him and then diving into the end zone, and it was just such a cool like full circle moment for the kid to go from so downtrodden to now he's on top of the world. He's about to be playing for Tom Brady and the Raiders. I mean, that's not necessarily like the best situation next year, but I think he's heading into what will be kind of the second wind of the Raiders being contenders again. And I think it's going to start with him. He's the ultimate competitor. Any team would want him. And yeah, it's gonna be the Raiders, and whoever they pick as head coach, they're gonna get him.
So
Yeah, he
it's
had a great game. His wide receivers, Omar Cooper, I think his name is.
yes.
Um, he balled, and I mean, what a freaking. I mean, he fought for every freaking yard. I mean, all those players did. They put the team on their back, and it was just really cool to see. The Lions need to take a look at Pat Coogan, the center for Indiana. I know Matt mentioned, was it the left tackle or right tackle um, at Miami? I mean, they need to be looking at this game and seeing. I mean, that was some pro level talent on both sides of the ball there. I think a lot of these guys are going to end up getting drafted. So I think it was great for college football. It was great to see two new teams in the finals too. Like I think fans were happy it wasn't like the country as a whole was probably happy it wasn't Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, you know, um, and it was two teams that haven't had a shot in a long ass time, and they got to go at it. And personally, I think it brought more views. I think more people were invested. I think also because of the college playoff, the story of Miami, the story behind both of these teams, it just made for good football, good TV. And I am so glad they switched to this 12-team format. I think it is the best thing for this sport.
Oh yeah, I agree. Having the expanded playoffs is something that I feel like should have happened a while back, and I think it's definitely made things more interesting now that it is. Four made it so
Absolutely.
fast, and like yeah, you get to see a lot more. I mean, even though the number one seed won it this year, still, I mean, you still get to see a lot more storylines, a lot more teams that have a chance, maybe a possibility for some upsets and stuff like that. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's definitely anytime that you can expand the playoffs, it usually is a good thing. My question to you is, it's funny that well, two things. It's crazy watching a team win a championship and the quarterback not throwing a touchdown. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah,
But that run that he
that
had
is
in was
crazy.
very insane. Do you, excuse me, what do you think about Mendoza on the next level? Do you think that he's going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback like that caliber?
That's hard to tell right now. I think, I think for any young QB, it's really hard to make that like decision. But I mean, he's definitely got a shot. He's shown he's very coachable. He's shown he's team first, um, and he's shown he's going to make the guys around him play better and be a good leader. So to me, that's all four great traits of your franchise guy, of your leading quarterback. So I think he's got a really good shot with the right coaching. He's got everything up here to do so, to become that. Yeah, I do think it's going to take time, and it might take two, maybe even to his third season before we really start seeing him being dominant again. But I mean, it's a puzzle, and he's going to figure out the puzzle. He's said that a million times. So I think anybody's lucky to have him, and he's going to make a career for himself, no doubt. I don't know if he'll win a Super Bowl. I mean, that's so hard to do, but I think he can definitely build a contending offense.
But you think that okay, yeah, you think that he is capable of being like a franchise quarterback?
Absolutely. Do you?
Okay. Um, don't want to speak on it like I've watched every snap and stuff. I feel like I mean he was playing against like a team that made it to the national championship when they played. I feel like I wasn't like blown away by like his quarterbacking skills, but the man definitely got some heart. He got that dog in him. I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm too ignorant in the sport to really give a great evaluation of him. You know what I mean? That's not something that I follow all the time. So that's more of why I was curious of your thoughts than
Yeah,
mine.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
I hear you, and that's what makes it so hard to judge, is because you see people so often have success at the college level and then never make it or never even get the chance. I mean, Sam Hartman for Notre Dame, he's probably going to be a career backup. Um, and he led them, I think they got to the national championship against Ohio State. So it's like, and Will Howard won the national championship last year, and maybe he'll get his shot. He got picked a little sooner and stuff too, but um, yeah, it's so strange. It's so hard to judge, and so many, like I just said, like coaching is so important. Josh Allen was never going to be Josh Allen, but he had the heart, he had everything up here, and Brian Dable just molded him into what he is or what he was, and now he's kind of, helped project himself even past that. So I think that's what it's going
Yeah.
to take: good quarterback coaching, good offensive coordinator, good head coach. Just from the top down, he's going to need support.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, yeah, like you mentioned, Will Howard, Quinn Ewers also like was third string this
Yep.
season. It's
Yep.
nuts to see where, I mean, what you had, Jalen Milrow hasn't seen the field at all. Joe Milton, but then you've got Tyler Shuck in in New Orleans that's been balling. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's very interesting for me as a very very casual college football fan to see the projections of like where these quarterbacks go. The two people that I can think like when I think of college football in recent memory, I'm not going back to like a Cam Newton at Auburn type situation, but in more recent memory, the two quarterbacks that I've seen in college that really I was like these guys are going to ball at the next level was Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow obviously was throwing to Jamar and Justin Jefferson, which was insane to
Hmm.
have those guys all on the same team. But I mean, watching Deshaun when he was at Clemson, and obviously, I'm not trying to hype up a man that we know what he has done in off the field, but just as far as college football goes, he when he was at Clemson, that was like watching him go against Bama. Those was it 2 years, I think, back to back years. That was insane. I was so excited to see him when he got to the NFL, and then same with Joe Burrow, obviously. So, um, I mean, you get like a Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, like those have been like the last two overall or number one picks. And then who was the number one this season?
It was Cam Ward.
Cam Ward, yeah. And
I mean,
I mean, we'll see what happens with him with having Salah now. Usually they've been trying to put these like young quarterbacks with an offensive guy trying to make magic happen. Now they're going to give him a defensive coach. It'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out.
I'll say like Caleb Williams is somebody that I thought he would do well right away. Gets drafted to the Bears, and Eberflus absolutely wastes him.
Hmm.
Um, but then he gets Ben Johnson, and after a couple weeks of working out those kinks and getting ready and getting used to Ben's playbook, he starts to look like the Caleb Johnson of USC again. So he was somebody at USC I definitely thought had a chance to become a contender, and it's happened. Trevor Lawrence was somebody I was surprised it wasn't happening with when he
Yes,
came out.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, outside of those two, yeah, it's those two: Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson. Those are like, and that's four in 10 years, 8 years. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, and
so
Caleb too, you could see flashes of him last year even, like despite
right,
Eberflus.
despite
Like
Eberflus,
yes,
absolutely.
yes, like in spite of him, like winning against all odds, or even being up in situations, like you could see that Caleb had talent, but yeah, like you
Even
said,
the
Eberflus has kind of
Thanksgiving
ruined it.
game, the Thanksgiving
Yes,
game was
yes,
all that was all Caleb. That was not the play
yes.
calling. That was all off script stuff from him, piecing up our defense in the last few moments and almost winning the game. You know?
And we talked about him on the Sunday episode about how we think that
Yeah.
he's probably going to be the newest addition to the top 10 in the
Hmm.
quarterbacks in the league, which we'll revisit obviously in the fall leading into the season. Um, one more thing about college football before we get into the NFL. I'm curious your thoughts on this, and I don't know. I'm once again a little ignorant on college football. The amount of eligibility that people can get now. Like there's a player right now suing for I think his 6th year of eligibility, which is
Yeah.
nuts. But
Chambliss from Ole Miss. Yeah.
Carson Beck, it came out I think leading up to the national championship. A reporter asked if he had class, and he said, "No class. I graduated 2 years ago." My man's is 23 years old, graduated 2 years ago, and is playing quarterback in the national championship.
That's insane. I haven't been to
Like,
school. I haven't been to school in 4 semesters.
I'm a college quarterback who graduated 2 years ago.
That's insane.
I don't know off the top of my head how to fix something like that or if it needs to be fixed, but
I think they need to start working
It was
for
a shocking thing to
graduation.
read.
Yeah, yeah, that is shocking. 2 years is insane. I'd understand like, oh, I graduated in December, or I graduated at the end of summer. Like I took summer classes so that I could just focus on my last season. But 2 full seasons is insane. So he graduated with a bachelor's from Georgia. He's not even a student at Miami then technically. Don't you have to
Oh
be
my,
taking like at least like 12 credit hours?
that
Like I
is
feel like that
a
was a
good
thing at one point.
point.
If he graduated, he never even started a class at Miami.
So then this is where people have kind of talked about like NIL and stuff too. Is like it's not even that they're college players anymore. They're more just amateur football
Yeah,
players,
it's
like
pro am.
semi-pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, do you think that that's something that needs to be fixed? Is that an issue to you as a more college basketball fan, or does it is what it is?
Yeah, just I mean, it's does it need to be fixed? I don't know. I think I think you should like make them start working towards their graduate or something. Like that's if they're done, like they don't even need to complete the degree, but as long as you're playing football here, you need to be enrolled in like some sort of classing. Like
So I
even if
guess like
you're I mean, I guess the issue is part-time or there's no such thing as a part-time master's program,
mhm.
so like that would be tough. But I don't know, pick a new major and take some class. I don't know, but at the same time you're asking them to pay money, but at this, or, well, I guess not because you're probably giving them a full ride. You know, I don't know, like it, and paying them NIL
But
money on top of it. Like, yeah,
here's
this
here's
needs
two
to be
here's
fixed in some way.
here's two things for this. One, um, the argument I guess against that would be the fact of like I always bring up like Cardale Jones when he was at Ohio State and he was like, I'm not here to play school. So it's like
Hmm.
if this education isn't even why you're here to begin with, then why do we care if they're taking classes or not? Like, okay, so what we enroll him in some classes, he's got a university provided tutor that's doing all of his work for him. You know what I mean? Like,
But
so
how can
what the
you?
so
Yeah,
the veil isn't there anymore. You know what I mean? Now it's just instead of us faking like he's a student, he's just not a student. On the other hand,
true.
think about this. Think about like the I mean, this is a old cliche, but like think about like a college party. And then here's the guy over here hitting on the girls that graduated 2 years ago. All right,
Yeah,
who is this creep? Oh, that's the starting quarterback for our college.
yeah. He's 24 years old. He's on his 6th year of eligibility. Yeah.
It's a conundrum.
Oh, yeah. That's a problem. I don't know, man.
Uh,
I mean, they're not. It probably won't change. And like you said, it was happening before NIL, like
yeah.
this type of thing. But it was just like they weren't like trying to cover it up or trying to walk through the motions or like signing him up for these courses that like the teacher was just going to give him hundreds on all the tests for or like because that stuff was happening long before
Hmm.
this. But so I mean, yeah, on a certain level, it's like what's really changed. Um, all like we're just paying them now, which I've been an advocate for from the get-go. I just think this whole thing as a whole needs more jurisdiction. And I think even Toph could probably even talk about this to a more extensive extent than I can here, but there's just so much stuff that is unregulated and so little commitment that is needed from these players and even these coaches right now that like I mean, yeah, it's just a very strange time. It's very new. I mean, we're pioneering this as we go along. We're trying to figure it out. I get that. We can't just like stop college football until we figure this out. So, um, yeah, but I think we're gonna not necessarily see like contracts going the other direction, but I think we're gonna start seeing more regulations as time goes on because these giant organizations like the NCAA don't like having less control. They want more, so they're gonna get it sooner or later.
Yeah. All right. Enough with the semi-pro. On to some actual pro. Where would you like to start?
Oh man, you start us off. I want to hear your Drew Petzing take right out the gate. Actually, I want to hear your take on this guy.
Okay, so um, something that I've been, and I'm not the only person to. Oh, what up, Peter? Um, something that I've been big on even during the regular season. I know I'm not alone in this. I'm not the only one. I'm not trying to championship. This is like or champion. This is like, oh, I was one man against the world, but I was one of the people that really wanted us to get Mike McDaniel as our offensive coordinator. I thought that if he got fired, in my opinion, the Lions, they've got one of the best situations for an offensive coordinator. You have a team that has been, on the up. We made the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years. Very solid core. We've got a good cap situation. We've got, 2 star running backs. We've got 2 star receivers, a star tight end, a very solid defense, a culture that I think is on the way up. Most people regard Dan Campbell as a really good coach. To me, the offensive coordinator role for the Lions would be the most premier opportunity available. So to me, I'm thinking we should be able to get our pick of offensive coordinators. The only other team that I thought maybe might be able to put up as good of an argument as us would be the Eagles. Crazy because the Eagles can't get an offensive coordinator now. Nobody wants that job. People have turned their names down or turned it down or withdrawn their names from it. That's kind of insane. But I thought it would be us. So I'm thinking, Mike McDaniels, if you're going to be an offensive coordinator for any team, you might as well come over here. And if not you, somebody. I thought we would get a splash, a big splash, and a proven guy, which is what I think that we need. I think that we just took a gamble last season, and then that gamble didn't pay out, and maybe we should go for something more proven. So I'm thinking McDaniels, maybe Brian Dayball. Not something I would necessarily be super excited about, but even like a Cliff Kingsbury, he's had good offenses before. Never in a million years did I think that I would be seeing a notification saying before McDaniels was even hired or any of these other chips have fallen that we were going to wind up with Drew Petzing. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Okay. So that it was a shock. I'm like, who is this guy? So I got to look it up. Offensive coordinator for the Cardinals. That terrible team. I don't think that. Look, I understand that sometimes things aren't your fault. They had injuries. They had injuries. I mean, the running back was hurt. Their second string running back was hurt. Kyler was hurt and then bench. Like I understand all the things that go into that context wise, but sometimes I think that if you're involved with a bad situation, maybe you just let that cool off for a little bit. Why don't you go be offensive coordinator somewhere else, and then maybe we'll spin the black bag to you. So that's how I feel. And they're one of the worst offenses. Now, granted, I did see, the what they were working with over there. Jacoby Brissett and Trey McBride and Michael Wilson, they were making things happen to the point where in a dynasty league, I had to go out, give some things up, get Michael Wilson on my team because I'm like, all right, you look like you can ball. I get all of that. But not the splash hire I thought that we were going to be seeing, and not somebody proven, which I thought that we need. Now, granted, we need a lot of things in the way of offensive linemen and defensive linemen, some secondary help, lots of stuff. But this is a big gamble here, and I know Dan is a gambler, but this could be what winds up costing Dan his job. We'll see, and I'm not saying that I want him gone, but I mean I think that the coaches usually are the ones who hire the coordinator. You might have some input from the GM and the owner and stuff, but usually for your staff, for someone established like a Dan Campbell too, usually you're picking your staff. Um, his whole thing, I guess, is supposed to be big at the run game and tight end sets, 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets. It doesn't make sense to me given the fact of what our team is. I get the run game. We want someone who's going to be good with the run. That's cool. We obviously are a running team, but at the same time, we're talking 2 and 3 tight end sets. We have St. Brown, we have JMO, we have Tesla, who's great. Why are we looking at? I mean, we've got 2 running backs. Why are we looking at trying to shift the attention to tight ends? Now we got to draft 1 or 2 more tight ends or sign somebody to add to Laporta. I want someone that's going to be good at our run game and then the passing game. Let's use our. Everyone tells me that Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback. Let's get somebody to help him throw to our 3 great receivers. That's where I'm at with it. If you're talking about somebody that's good with run game and 2 tight end sets, to me, I'm thinking your ass should be with the Raiders. The Raiders have Brock Bowers, they have Michael Mayer, and they've got Genty. That sounds like a good fit for you over there. Why don't you? Hey, I'll pack the bags for you. Take your ass over to the Raiders and help them. That's my initial thoughts on it. Now, it could wind up working. It could definitely wind up working. But what I don't like is I'm hearing that 2 things. Well, I guess 3. They're saying that so Jeff Darlington, I think it was reported that the Lions said that McDaniels they didn't think was the right fit. That's kind of wild. I feel like the John Wharton thing didn't work out, so Dan was like, okay, I'll take over play calling. That didn't get any better. Like everyone wants to talk to me about stats that do not matter. We have the number 1 scoring offense. That doesn't matter. We were pouring it on against bad teams. Every time we played a good team, our offense looked broken. We were predictable. There was no ingenuity. I did not like it. So I wanted someone that would come in and challenge Dan. We could collaborate on some new plays. We could have someone convince you not to kick the ball or to kick the ball, not to go for it on 4th down 5 times in a game and it not work. That's me. So to get somebody that supposedly, I guess, was friends with Ben Johnson before, it's like you're just trying to keep the good old boys club going of you hiring your friends and stuff, not people that are working out well. Did that work for the Eagles with Kevin Patullo? No, that was a disaster. And then what really pissed me off is Matt sent us that video today of Amon Ra St. Brown. And Amon Ra's my guy. Got his jersey right here. That's my dude. But for you to come out here and say, "Oh, I'm seeing all the fans talking bad about this hire," and I know that you guys probably don't even know who the guy is and everything. Do you not have faith in Dan Campbell that we're gonna get this done? No, you just blew it last year. Like, what? Why should we? Dan Campbell, and you can correct me if I'm wrong about this. Dan Campbell has had 3 offensive coordinators: Anthony Lynn, Ben Johnson, and John Morton. 2 out of the 3 of those were terrible. And last year was one of them. You blew it last year. Don't come talk to me like you deserve us not to be skeptical of the next guy you hire. When you were as bad as it was last year, we missed the playoffs. And one of the biggest reasons is because our offense wasn't good. And then you're going to sit here and tell me, well, don't you have faith we're going to bring the right guy in as we bring in this guy you've never heard of before? This better work, because if it doesn't, if Dan is able to keep his job, it'll be the hottest seat in the NFL.
Yeah.
Where are you at with it?
I agree with most of what you're saying here. I mean, yeah, I love saying as well. I'm not going to necessarily defend him here on this one because, yeah, I'm skeptical too. I don't know. I mean, what the Eagles did after they so they lose their OC, get a new OC, and that doesn't work. They lose in the first round. They get Kellen Moore, the number 1 OC in the league at the time, or one of the top 5 OCs in the league at the time. Probably the top option who was looking for a job at OC. And so they go get him for a year. Obviously, he proves he can get a head coaching job, and Dan talks about how he wants someone who's going to be here, and that's not the phase of the NFL anymore. And I understand we're not going to do everything like the Eagles are, and we shouldn't do everything like the Eagles are. But like we are looking for that first Super Bowl, man, and you got to do whatever you can to get that one, and then you can start doing stuff like this where you're like, no, trust me, I've gotten you guys to the promised land. Like now you can fully trust me. And Dan, I do trust you for the most part. Like I really do. I think he's got his beat on the pulse still. Like he is, or finger on the pulse. Yeah, that's what it is. Still with this team. And I do think he has the team's best interest. Like I've heard some people saying this is all his ego. I don't really think this is an ego thing. I think this is like him dying on the culture hill. So yeah, we'll see, like you said, how it pans out. Time will tell, as I always say about everything on this podcast. But it definitely wasn't the splash or the exciting hire we wanted. The thing that I will say I'm noticing the biggest difference between Petzing and John Morton. John Morton has been known as a passing game coordinator more than an offensive coordinator in his career, or an offensive assistant, right? And teams that, like the team he was most recently with, the Broncos, the year of 2024, they aired it out so much, and to the point where it almost felt like he was putting too much on Bo Nix in certain games, and they weren't just like settling with like using their run game that was working and things like that. And I mean, obviously he wasn't OC there, so he wasn't making all the play calls, but he's sitting right next to the OC, or in the OC's ear, helping him decide these play calls. So even though the players and he said, "Oh yeah, we're not going to shake things up too much," they shook shit up way too much from the playbook that it was in 2024 for the Lions. And Dan tried to reconcile that, get back to the way things were, and it definitely didn't work. We never even got the chance to really get into our play action side of the offense because everybody was just inside, just getting past our O-line within half a second to a second and a half every single snap. So to me, like this guy I hear what you're saying about like, yeah, why are we getting a guy that use all these tight end sets and these run game sets? I want to get our wide receivers the ball. Well, he did literally show us that Michael Wilson is a dog in those last few games. And so maybe the problem is newly acquired player for the Sign Steelers, Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe the problem is Kyler Murray. We just don't know.
Wait,
Maybe the
what
problem
did
was
you just say?
Jonathan Gannon. I said newly acquired member of the Sign Stealers. That's my team name in
Oh, the
Dynasty.
sign serial.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought you
yeah.
said for the Steelers.
Oh
I thought
no,
you
no,
were
no. You were
breaking
like,
news. I
what?
was like, whoa, wait a second. What?
No, no, I ain't that good. I'll get on my
Okay.
Shefty someday. That'd be
Okay.
crazy. Him to the Steelers with no QB.
Sorry. Sorry.
That's so
Please,
funny.
please continue.
Um, but yeah, no, I mean, we just don't know exactly what the problem was. I know a lot of AZ fans blame him. Think that if Jonathan Gannon would have got rid of him, he would have saved his job. I don't know. Jonathan Gannon was a lot. He couldn't handle the moment. He couldn't handle the pressure. He literally hit a player in the middle of the season. If that doesn't lose your locker room, I don't know what will. So I to quote Matt here, I want to see a game or two before I freak out and get pissed off. I'm with you in skepticism. But yeah, time will tell, and hopefully he's a better fit because we need it.
Let me just say this to kind of close out my thoughts on this. I'm glad that you brought that up because I meant to and I forgot to about the fact that part of the thing that they were saying is they wanted to get someone that wouldn't leave for offensive coordinator job right away. And it's like, no, when you get a Kellen Moore opportunity, you take him, you get your Super Bowl, and you figure it out afterwards. Um, I think that after last season, because I mean they were doing just enough. They had the NFC Championship, and it's like that bought a lot of goodwill. Then you make a playoff run the next year, you do lose to a rookie. It's like, all right, Ben Johnson leaves. We have our first season that didn't go well. We missed the playoffs. I think at this moment right now, the clock has officially started on Dan and Jared Goff and potentially Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes, I think, is the safest of all of them. But I'm not calling for anybody's job. What I am saying is this: if this doesn't work out this season and we miss the playoffs or we first round bounce, seats are going to start getting very hot, especially Dan's and Jared Goff's. And it's going to come down to who are we blaming for the reason they're losing? Does the scheme suck? Because if the scheme sucks, that's the offensive coordinator. And who hired the offensive coordinator and took that gamble? Dan Campbell. So that's one. Otherwise, it's our quarterback can't get us to the promised land. We've debated for over a year on if we think that Jared Goff is a top 10. And I've said before that I don't think that he's the person that you call on when things are going bad and say, I need you to get us home. He's very much a like, hey, everything is good. I've got a lot of weapons. My line's holding up. I can do what I need to do. We need to see, you know what I mean? If because look, everything's not always going to be perfect. And the quarterbacks that are winning, our quarterbacks can make something happen when it's not perfect. We just saw Caleb Williams in our division balling out. That he back to back weeks, you made crazy plays to then get to a an overtime or to a win. And our division is only going to get better. The Vikings can only get better than what they were, and they were tied with us last season and swept us. The Packers are going to get better. Everything's going to get better around us. And you can see the rest of the NFC. I mean, we're going to talk about Kevin Stefanski with the Falcons. You've got Baker in there. Do we have another year of Matt Stafford? The Seahawks, the Niners, the Panthers. You know what I mean? Um, Jared Goff, if you can't get this done, we're going to have to go get somebody that will, or we're going to have to go try to. We've got all these weapons. Somebody's got to get in here, drive the car. So all I'm saying is that it's the countdown is starting, and it's going to be a lot of people who are playing for their jobs this season, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think you're right because we've gotten like Calvin Johnson said it on St. Brown's podcast a few weeks ago. He said once people get a taste of Wagyu steak, they don't want to go back to Hamburger Helper.
Yes.
I think I might have even said that after he guessed it there, but that could not be more true right now. These fans have gotten a taste of victory, and if you start taking that away now, you're gonna get run out of town real fast. So I love Dan. I don't want him to go, but I do want to win football games. Yeah, I mean, sure, was this year a disaster? Yes, it sucked. But at the same time, he did what Mike Tomlin's done for the last 12 years. So, not saying that we want to keep him if he's going to
They
keep
made the
doing that.
playoffs.
What's that?
They made the playoffs.
Yeah, but he went just above 500 like Mike Tomlin does every year. Mike Tomlin just gets lucky that he squeaks in with a wild card slot or he wins the division somehow. Um, Whereas Dan didn't get that lucky because we had a really successful division still. Um, and on top of that, one of the hardest schedules in the league. So, look, I was disappointed in the season too. I'm not making excuses for them in that way. I'm just saying, like, this can happen. It's just now it's got to flip back around because you got a year to reload. You understood what didn't work. Now you got to shore up that O line again. You can't just do it with Glasgow. He's not a good center. As he's a decent center, but he's not Frank Ragnow, top 5 in the league. You need to either go get a veteran, or you draft somebody really 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 high with your 17th pick to snap the ball to Jared. Yeah, I mean the personnel has to change. So, like, to me, if nothing changes with personnel, it is more on Brad Holmes, like, to me, than on coaching. So if he doesn't get active, like, I think his seat's just as hot, if not hotter. Because he's gotten up there on his soapbox a couple times and on his high horse talking to the media about you guys, like, you guys doubted this, you guys doubted that. Why don't you guys trust me? But it's like you drafted Hendon Hooker too. You gave up picks for Hendon Hooker, pickers for Hendon Hooker. But
Yeah, but
that
I
never
mean,
panned out. And now he's not even in the league anymore.
but I mean, to counter that though, and I don't want to drag this out too much longer because we got some other stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we
But
do.
look, Brad Holmes has given Dan Campbell pieces on defense. He's given him 2 to 3 star receivers, a star tight end after losing Hawkinson and went and got a Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery. So a lot of coaches that wish that they were working with the team, and we're going to talk about the Bills in a second with their coach and their GM situation. It's a lot of teams that wish that they were working with the weapons that Dan Campbell's working with.
Absolutely. No, I
At some
agree
point,
with you
you
there.
gotta at some point you gotta take the ingredients and make a motherfucking sandwich, dog.
Yeah, and he has in the past. I'm telling you, but like the no O line this year was tough.
Oh, absolutely. And they tried to address it. They tried to go get homeboy out of retirement. He failed the physical.
Yeah,
Um, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that of those three, because all of them are going to start getting hotter. I think personally that Brad has been. You've been able to go out there and re-sign everybody at the right time to make sure the cap doesn't get screwed up. Like he's doing his job in my mind. Granted, yes,
I
we could
get
have
you.
had some more offensive help, but
It's just his attitude that drives me nuts sometimes. He gets his ego gets the best of him, I think, more than Dan's, who people are saying has a big ego. I think Brad has shown to the media that he's the one that he likes to pat himself on the back for these things he's done. So,
well, if we're
and he
talking
has done a good job. He has done a great job, but just keep cooking, man.
if we're talking about a GM with a big ego and a coach, let's talk about Sean McDermott getting fired from the Bills
All right.
and their GM getting a promotion to president of football operations. What was your thought when you read this?
Um, a little confused just because, like, didn't they did it after Harbaugh got his job, right? Or no? Trying to
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, it was.
Okay, so
Hey,
to
real
me,
quick
it's
too,
like
if you're in the chat, let us know what you think. You think that the Lions window is still open, and do you think that this offensive coordinator is going to help us get there?
true.
Continue.
But yeah, Sean McDermott getting fired was a little bit of a shock just because we don't know what else is out there. I don't, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say he's not the problem when, like, time and time again, your franchise quarterback has gotten you into position. He's got some of the best playoff stats of any active quarterback in the league right now. And you are still Super Bowl ringless, and you have one AFC championship appearance. So, or is it two? I don't know. But yeah, either way, it is hard to fire somebody who's been that winning of a coach, but it definitely was time for a change of scenery, I think. At the same time, I don't think Josh liked it. I don't think the locker room liked it. And unless you make the most home run hire right here, you're just asking to slide backwards. Maybe they're looking to get Dayball. That's why Dayball isn't being considered for OC jobs. He's switching over to Buffalo and he's going to coach them. I have no clue. But Brandon Beane, how he still has his job when He hasn't given Josh Allen a wide receiver once since Stephon Diggs. And like why he isn't in the hot seat right now is insane to me. So I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for the Bills. And that being said, um, Josh Allen, apparently, this is breaking news from Richard Johnson at Richard Johnson NFL. Breaking: Bills QB Josh Allen is reportedly, quote, stunned and, quote, not happy at all with how owner Terry Pegula and GM Brandon Beane conducted their press conference today. Now, I haven't watched the press
Mm-hmm.
conference, but I'm assuming they were talking about McDermott, the firing, everything like that. So there's a growing sense that he wants a change of scenery and to get out of this dysfunctional organization. To me, I like that. I wouldn't typically believe that, but now that McDermott's out the building, like I feel like he could be on. I mean, it's maybe not because he hasn't gone through all this coaching overturn, but if he's mad enough, I could see him demanding out, trying to go somewhere else. I mean, he does live and die by Buffalo, so I don't think it's going to happen. But to me, like if you wanna turn your quarterback against you, if you want to turn your team against you, fire the coach that they all love. That's what the Bills just showed you how to do. Um, so yeah, I understand. I understand the pressures, and like we were just saying, you need to go and win now. You know, you need like that's the state of the NFL. Um, but yeah, it's probably going to backfire on them. What do you think?
So to address the Josh Allen part first, he's good enough to have the sway of a situation of like, if Josh Allen requested a trade today, there'd be a million teams trying to get him tomorrow. Like, yes, but that's very true. That being said, to an extent, and I love this man, humongous Josh Allen fan. Josh, you kind of got to be quiet, dog, unless you are asking for out. Because you know what happens when you consistently underperform? You get your head coach fired. That is the same in every sport. That is the same in football, basketball, hockey, baseball. If y'all don't perform, you get your coach fired. And Josh Allen, y'all underperformed this year. This was supposed to be the year that all the other big dogs were out the way. And it was supposed to be your year to go to the Super Bowl. And y'all are sitting at home now. So for the coach to get fired and then you to be upset about it, you had a chance to keep his job. You had to win. Now, all of that aside, I don't think it was fair that Sean McDermott got fired for this season. Sean McDermott did not make Josh Allen turn the ball over 4 times in that game. He didn't have him try to go down the field to get 3 before the half and
Yeah,
then
and
get
that's
3.
but that's my gripe too. Is like I mean, Josh Allen. Sure, I guess yeah, they didn't meet every single goal of the year, but he didn't have a bad year until he had a bad game, and he had a bad game against the Patriots that lost in the division. You know, it's like
Yeah,
they
but
there were a
the
couple of bad things that happened this year, and he had wide receivers that were inactive every other week.
Starley, what's up? He said, true, he's a turnover machine since his rookie year. So that's what I was going to say about that too, is the fact that Josh was making progressions of being not that guy anymore that had crazy talent, but also turned the ball over. He's the last few seasons been getting better at that. He turned into old Josh Allen at the worst possible time. I'm going to go on my defense of Sean McDermott in a second, but what I'm trying to say is that you see this, in every organization in sports. If you underperform, your coach is gone. If you want to keep your coach, play better. You know what I mean? The Falcons wanted to keep their coach too. They played hard down the stretch, won a bunch of games even after they were eliminated, still lost their coach. So I'm just saying that that's how that works as it
True.
pertains to me talking to Josh, not me talking about whether I think it's fair or not. Sean McDermott getting fired was super unfair. He did a lot. And we talked about how many coaches would want to work with a roster like what Brad Holmes has put together. I think Sean McDermott would love to work with a roster like that. Let me get those things around Josh Allen. Like you said, they said no wide receiver one. I made a TikTok and a short that I posted that you guys can go take a look at. But basically, I listed the receivers that Josh Allen's been working with in the last few years. It's not been good. And the amount of Pro Bowlers. They've had 2 Pro Bowlers, I think, since 2018. And it was Dawson Knox and James Cook. It's not been a good team over there. So Sean McDermott, he could have been fired several other years that would have made more sense depending on how the playoffs went. This was a bad year to do it at. But the fact that you do this and the GM still has his job is insanity. Because Sean McDermott was cooking with what he had. The GM was doing bullshit, dog. There was reports that came out that I don't remember the player's name. There was a DB that the GM let go to bring in Darius Slay. Darius Slay refused to report, so they didn't get Slay, and then they lost the other DB to the Texans. So the Bills usually like to have, I think it was like 4 boundary corners or safeties or something. They wound up with only 3 of them because the GM completely fumbled that. That's on the GM. The lack of the wide receivers, that's on the GM, giving Josh any weapons to work with. Because while this was his best chance this season, this is his worst team. And then the last thing about it, to reference what you were talking about today, the press conference that happened, the owner and the GM were out there talking about it, and they're defending the Sean McDermott firing, and they threw Sean McDermott under the bus for getting Keon Coleman. They said that that was a coaching decision that they wanted to do, and that the GM was just being a team guy by going ahead and pulling the trigger on it. Keon Coleman is still on the team. Keon Coleman is sitting at home as a member of the Buffalo Bills going, what the hell?
What? Yeah.
They came out here on national television at a press conference and said, this guy cost us a draft pick, and the draft pick that we got was terrible. And he's on the Keon Coleman.
And we're still paying him.
Sitting at home like, yeah, he's the reason that our receivers suck. Whoa.
Yeah.
So you said the word dysfunctional.
It's like that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Leonardo DiCaprio's like
yes, no, literally. You said the word dysfunctional organization. That's what this has in a few hours started to look like. Started to look like they went from being a stable organization to a potentially dysfunctional one. That next coach hiring is going to be very important. But I mean, the other thing too is the owner basically came out and said, like, hey, blame this guy that we just fired. My GM over here, he and we locked in. If this doesn't work out, the owner deserves to have a lot of people talking trash because you just stamped your stamp of approval on the GM. Let's see what happens next. He better deliver in this draft. What's the chat saying?
Absolutely. So Starley said he's a turnover machine. Bills have no depth, and he has had to shoulder the weight of this team for a long time. Agreed. 100,000%. Nail on the head right there. TikTok is the devil. I'd love some context for that. I think it was.
I said it made a TikTok.
Yeah. I was gonna say. I think you'd mentioned it. Yep. And then Keon sitting at home like the Pikachu meme. It's just like, what? The Detective Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds.
No, I think you're talking about the surprise Pikachu though.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah,
I think that's. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. But yeah, I mean, so he wanted Keon, but then coach's decision made him inactive for like 7 games this year. Like that doesn't check out to me. You know, like why would you bench the guy if you were so dead set on having? Why wouldn't you be trying to get him the ball and save your job?
He was saying that he wasn't coming to meetings on time or not coming to meetings, or the whole thing's been a disaster. I was talking to someone earlier. They said that if I was Keon and requested trade, and I'm like, it's easy to say that, but his value probably isn't very high right now. He's probably viewed as like a kind of like Anthony Richardson, where it's like, yeah, I mean, you might got done dirty by the organization, but what you have shown and what the rumors are about you, I don't know if I want you in my building.
Yeah, fair.
Or who's the receiver for Pittsburgh that bounced around? Chase Claypool.
Oh yeah, that's prime example.
That's what Keon Coleman is looking like right now. Fair or not, I'm not in the building. I don't know, but that's the thought I would say around him. So for you to then try to force a trade out, I don't know if you've got any leverage to do that.
Yeah, true. No, there's no forcing your way out. They'll just drop your ass.
What did Starley just say?
He said Mahomes has always had weapons and options. Allen has had Diggs.
Oh, because he said
That
he's done
is,
more for the Bills as an individual player than Mahomes for the Chief. That's not necessarily true.
oh, I see that.
Um, it's comparable to an sense. There was a spot where Mahomes had all the weapons, and then he didn't. Mahomes still won a Super Bowl with MVS and Sky Moore
And a
and
kick-ass
Hollywood Brown.
defense. Kick-ass defense.
Right. I'm just saying that Mahomes has had a longer time with more help than Josh Allen did. Definitely will give you that. But Mahomes has still done more with less than Josh Allen has. But Josh has been carrying that franchise like Jesus carrying a cross for a very long time.
Yeah, it's hard to compare like cultural impact when a guy has that many rings, but and I mean those early years, even when he had players, Mahomes was putting the team on his back. But if we're talking, what have you done for me lately for your franchise? Like Josh Allen has shown, even like the front office doesn't care about me, and I'm still going to win games. And
Mhm.
Patrick Mahomes was like the front office literally caters everything around me, other than like I guess. I mean, even so, he's had plenty of
No,
wide receiver ones since
you
Tyreek
guys
Hill. He's had
you guys
Xavier
are
Worthy. He's had Rasheed Rice. He's had wide receiver ones.
definitely like I think being caught in the old moment with them. The last few seasons have been look, we're going to give you an amazing defense, do enough on offense to win. It's like
And
in
he has.
Friday. It's like
I
when
mean, yeah, he
on
got to a Super Bowl last year, but this year they went what 6-11.
Josh didn't even get to the AFC Championship.
He
What the
still won games with
what the
nobody around him and no defense. I don't know
what
what
the
you're talking about.
what the
He's
Chiefs have
been
been
given
doing
way
the
less
last
pieces. I'm not
what the
I'm not sitting here saying that he's 100% right. I'm just saying there is a case for it. It's not just dead set no or like that it's that far off.
what the Chiefs have been doing the last few seasons is telling you remember that scene from Friday where Smokey's mom gives Smokey like $3 and was like, go get me some cigarettes. And he's like, that's not enough. And she said, make it enough. That's what the
Yeah.
Chiefs have been doing to Mahomes on offense. And he's been winning.
And Josh Allen has had the same thing on both sides of the ball and he's been winning.
Like I said, it's comparable more the last few seasons, but Mahomes has done more with them. Like I remember when literally, I think it was either this season or last season, people were saying that Purdy didn't have enough help. And someone pointed out, literally, Purdy's receivers are the same ones that Josh Allen or that Mahomes won a Super Bowl with. There was a time before Rasheed Rice and Xavier Worthy where he won a Super Bowl with MVS, Sky Moore, and Hollywood Brown. That did happen. Like, you know what I mean? It did happen.
And Travis Kelce. But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I'm not look, I'm not saying that like like Josh Allen is light years ahead of Mahomes as far as like cultural impact or things like that or what he's done for his city or his team. But I think like I mean, they're damn close. They're 1A 1B for a long. They've been 1A 1B for a long time, and so yeah, I don't think it's off base. I think any Bills fan is going to tell you it's Josh. Any KC fan is going to tell you it's Mahomes, and then you're going to get a mixed bag of people all around the country outside of that. You know,
For me, I'm very much a believer of there's a big difference between tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 is Mahomes by himself. Tier 2 is Lamar, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. And Joe Burrow is still the only one who's made a Super Bowl of that list, but he's still in that tier, not on the Mahomes tier. Mahomes
in the
is like
AFC, you're saying?
no in the whole NFL. I don't think that
All right.
I think that those are the guys that are most capable of when we talk about game changers and force multipliers. It's like those are the guys you can come and say, "Hey, I need you to drag us somewhere that the team should not go, have no business being, if it wasn't for you as our quarterback." And I think that Mahomes is clear and far the leader of that group.
All right. Yeah, you're entitled to that opinion. I don't know if it's clear and far, but
Hey, okay.
didn't know
Hey,
Spencer was Mahomes Glazer.
hey, Charlie out here contradicted himself. He said he also had Juju on that Super Bowl. That means nothing. Juju's not great. He said, "Don't know Spencer was a Mahomes glazer." I mean, look, you just added to the list of bad receivers. I'm not a Mahomes glazer. I'm appreciate greatness.
I
I'm
do
the
think I
person.
think he was helping you out with the juju part.
I'm
I think
no,
he
I
was
know.
also saying like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
Like
right,
he
right.
was
So then
purposely, yeah.
I agree, which is why I'm saying that adds to the case. I'm not glazing Mahomes. I try my hardest to be an objective person, despite what you know what I mean. And I have a very big appreciation for greatness. So for me, like growing up, I've said this before. I'm Aaron Rodgers is my favorite quarterback. Before a
You've
Mahomes was
said that
ever in the,
before?
before Mahomes was ever in the league, it was Aaron Rodgers making the throws that no one else could ever think of. I always was like growing up, like, man, if you swapped him and Brady, like the amount of rings that they would have. But at some point, I had to go ahead and be like, you know what, Brady's great, and I started appreciating the greatness and enjoying it while it was here. Watching the baseball playoffs, you know what I mean? Once the Cubs are gone, I'm with the Dodgers. Look, let me go see something I've never seen before. I want to enjoy the greatness while it's here. I watch Mahomes play, and even though the Chiefs, I have no ties to the Chiefs. I have to sit here and be amazed at what I'm seeing from them and the plays that I've seen. The plays I've seen Mahomes make over his entire career. What the hell, dog? It's crazy insane. Same thing of like I'm rooting against the Bears the last 2 weeks. I gotta give credit where credit's due to Caleb of like, bro, what are these throws right now?
No,
So
I
I'm never too locked in on my fan base to come out and say when someone else is great. That you know what I mean?
oh, absolutely. And I'm not trying to say Mahomes ain't great. I'm just saying like I think you say we're hanging on to the last few years. I think you're hanging on to his first few years and remembering those too highly and the fact like yeah, he has a lot of rings and you can't like knock that. But outside of like those first few playoff runs, it like yeah, I agree. His team has gotten worse around him, but his level of play hasn't risen to the moment in every single one of those games. He gets bailed out plenty more than anybody last playoff season. Was he getting bailed out by the refs? You know, like,
You let me know when
and
he
so
turns the ball over 4 times in a playoff game.
yeah, right. I'm sure we could go look it up. I'm sure he's gotten close, but and I'm sure the Chiefs still won. But yeah, I mean, as quarterbacks, like if I'm picking one to run my franchise for the next 5 years, I'm picking Josh Allen personally.
Over Mahomes?
Yeah, I think he's got.
Shh.
I think he's the more talented guy at this point right now. I don't think he always was, but I think right now he is.
Okay. Hey, I hear you. I hate conversations like this because it's making me say things about a Josh Allen that I love. But I
No, it
guess
happens. Yeah.
the media needs to take note of that too because the way that the media has been on some BS the last few weeks. They went and everybody killed that lady that said nice things to Liam Cohen about integrity of the media, and then turned around and made so many excuses for Josh Allen afterwards. The media's PR for Josh Allen is doing a disservice to him as a player because it's turning fans off against Josh Allen just because of the way the media is covering him. Like Josh is getting hate from people and having to like people tearing Josh down just to combat the media of building a false narrative. And Josh is sitting at home like, I didn't ask you to do this.
Right.
Like Josh will come out and be like, hey, I played like shit. Y'all blame me
Hmm.
for this. The media comes out and they're like, oh no, don't blame Josh. And now the fans got to come out here and attack Josh, who's already accepted the blame.
Right. Yeah. No,
So
that's
yeah,
that's hilarious. Actually.
media credibility at an all-time low. Before we get into the next topic, the next football topic, while we've got some activity, oh my god, while we've got some activity in the chat, I need to ask you guys a question. I need you to help me settle a debate with my girlfriend. Last night, she tried to tell me that the name Aaron and Erin are the same name. Now we're talking about Aaron versus Erin.
Ooh.
She
Yeah.
said
No.
kind of like a
Sorry. Go ahead.
like a Spencer being spelled SPENSER versus SPENCER. And I was telling her no, that people like just say them, mispronounce them. They're too lazy to pronounce the names correctly. But like Spencer with a C or an S, it still sounds exactly the same as Spencer. Aaron and Erin are two completely different names. And she told me that she didn't believe me, and I had to get more opinions on this. So I need
Well,
Kyle, I need you, and I need the chat. Come out here and let me know what you guys think about this.
Yeah, I mean, they could be more different, but they definitely are not the same name. Um, Also, anybody who spells Spencer with an S, you're wow. I don't know. With
Hey,
two S's, I should say.
hey, be nice to my
Um,
parents now.
no, I'm just kidding.
I ain't named myself.
I love you guys. The Wells family goes a long way. Um, yeah, no, I don't. Aaron sounds like somebody from Lord of the Rings. Eron. Whereas like Aaron is, yeah, it's. I
No,
mean,
Aaron.
right.
Yeah.
Eron is the other one.
No, Erin.
Erin. Oh. Oh, I thought you said O-N the first time. That's different. I actually do think they're the same name. Yeah, one's just feminine and one's masculine.
What?
So I'm actually with her on this. I thought you said Aaron with an O. Yeah, they're totally the same name. They're just spelled differently. Aaron and Erin. Yep.
Erin and Aaron.
Aaron
Charlie said
and
no,
Aaron.
she's wrong. Literally different name if you pronounce them with a weird accent, maybe, but I don't know what accent that would be. When I looked it up last night, all I saw was people saying that only in the Midwest is an issue. Everywhere else, they pronounce them differently, and so they're completely different names.
Aaron. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because
Aaron,
they probably emphasize the on, but we don't do that out here.
right? It's just an issue in this
Aaron and
part of the
Aaron.
country.
Yeah.
So we're split. You
I don't
agree
know
with
what
Lexi, and
Starley's on, bro.
Starly,
He literally lives like
he's
10
with
minutes away from
me.
me.
They're different
Yeah.
names.
No, they're not.
um,
See? All right. So I think he thought it was ON too.
nah.
Yeah. Look at this hold up. He said, hold up.
Oh, we've got Lexi's on. Lexi's in the chat on my account. She said, "Thank you, pal."
I
Yes,
got you,
yes, Charlie,
Lex.
you got it correct.
Always.
Erin versus Aaron. They're different names. Aaron.
No. Aaron and Aaron.
If you say them with a British accent too, they sound completely different.
Aaron.
Aaron versus
Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah. They say shit different all the time. They're freaking, they're from
But
across the pond.
you wouldn't say Spencer any differently because the way they're spelled. It'd still be Spencer with an accent.
Spencer.
Right. But with a C or an S, it's still Spencer.
I don't know. They might get confused. Be like, do you spell this differently? Like, I don't know. Maybe they'd say Spenka if it was a C, you know? I don't know.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we're
Yes,
tied 1-1 still.
Starly. It's what you yeah, it's Aaron versus Aaron, which is the same name. So Lexi's
Yeah.
right. Double dose is
No,
wrong.
Starley's
Moving
with me.
on.
We're tied 2-2. All right. Where we want to hit next? Well, here's just a quick thing real fast. Um Prayers up for Jimmy Butler, hoping that he makes a full recovery. The Niners curse is getting out of hand now, dog. They had a game the other day. The Warriors did, and Christian McCaffrey and Juszczyk were at the game. They brought that curse with them there. Jimmy
Oh
Butler tore
no.
his ACL.
Oh.
What kind
Oh
of curse is
no.
that you can bring that of all the torn ACLs from the Niners to the fucking Warriors? That's insane. I'm not trying to make a joke about someone getting hurt at all, but that is insane. Like luck, curse, whatever.
I'm sorry. He said there, and there. Uh, there, and there are all they're the same word.
Oh my god.
It's still there.
Pronounced the
I
same,
mean,
but very
they're not the
different.
same word, but they are pronounced exactly the same, which to me makes them the same. I'm still with Lexi here.
Oh god. Okay.
All right, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was it for that. Mike McDaniels, we talked about earlier, said that if he does not get a head coaching job, the offensive coordinator job that he is willing to do is for the Chargers. Now, if that sticks, I'm gonna go out here and say right now, Chargers in the AFC Championship next season. Bookmark this.
If man, if
If
man is going to
man,
become what it is, man. All right.
yep. I think
All
that
right.
with that McDaniel system, they'll get some things cooking. He was working
I
with
agree.
Tua and having some decent success. Imagine him working with the perfect specimen of a quarterback.
Bro, not I mean, I know we had Achan, and that obviously worked really well too, but, I mean, he made and Raheem Mostert's a dog, but he made him look good into his 30s. What do you think he's gonna do for Omarion Hampton? He's gonna make him
Yes.
look awesome, and I know this is exactly what I wanted to be talking about for Gibbs
Yeah.
and for Jared Goff and for all those guys right now, but we can't do that. We have to talk about it for the Chargers, and
And
if you're Mike McDaniel, honestly, like, I man, getting to live in California versus Michigan. I mean, it's an easy decision for me if it was his decision. Now, obviously, Dan's made it seem like it was the Lions' decision, but I do kind of feel like we may have even saw like, all right, his interest levels might not be here, so we should go and attack before somebody else picks up the Cardinals OC. But yeah, I think he's gonna do really well in LA, and he'll probably end up with another head coaching job shortly after. Funny enough, you brought up the Eagles. He was one of the people to
withdraw.
not even pursue that anymore once he found out he could get the Chargers job. So just another person that doesn't want to work with Jalen Hurts. That's pretty funny. But
Hey, and you see how as an organization, Jim Harbaugh said, "Look, we made the playoffs. We got bounced in round one. We need to make a change, a big change. So what do? Let's go get the most proven guy and make him our offensive coordinator."
hmm
It's so difficult. Um, something that's I completely lost my train of thought. I had another coaching thing I was going to talk about. That's gone. Um,
happens to the best of us.
that's completely
McDaniel.
gone. Uh no, I don't remember. Anyways, let's talk about the new rivalry we've got. Baker with the well, no, let me phrase this differently. Kevin Stefanski is the Atlanta Falcons new coach. This man is addicted to the grind. You leave one organization with weapons and no quarterback and go to another situation with Kirk Cousins and torn ACL Michael Penix Jr. It is crazy. But he obviously still has some beef with Baker, and they basically someone had tweeted something about Kevin Stefanski having worked with a dumpster fire at quarterback at Cleveland. Baker and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction of 11 other starters. And then Baker quote tweeted it and said, "Failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text/call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach." I am
Woo!
so excited to see to see them have to play each other twice a year. And Baker is somebody that with a chip on his shoulder is an all timer. So
Oh
him and the
yeah.
Falcons next year, that's gonna be cinema.
Oh yeah. I wish you could just bet futures on those two games right now. I would bet those right now for the Bucks. I'd bet whatever spread they have cooked up. I think Baker's going to show out for those games. Um, yeah, I thought this was an interesting hire, not a bad hire by any means. And it sounds like they're retaining Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, which I don't think their defense was an issue really in Atlanta, so that's a good thing. Um, yeah, for them to be having a showdown twice a year is really cool. Stefanski just can't escape having two quarterbacks he has no clue what to do with. From Deshaun and Brissett, obviously he felt like he was going to start Deshaun probably. We don't even know if that was his choice or if that was just Andrew Berry. And then you have him going with the Shador and Dylan Gabriel approach, and we saw how that worked out. And now he's got two quarterbacks again that I could see him going either way with these guys. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's what he does, and he still somehow wins games sometimes. So I mean, we'll see. I want to hear Toph's opinion on this hire once again.
As a
Shout
Falcons
out
fan.
second time tonight. But yeah, I want to hear what he has to say about this. To me, it feels like a pretty safe hire given the current market. Not necessarily insanely flashy, but you got a guy who's shown you he's two-time coach of the year. He can get you to the playoffs, and he did it with a team that hasn't sniffed him in a long ass time. So yeah, it's a fun hire for them. I think in a way they're thinking he's going to know how to coach against Baker, which is probably an added motivator for them getting him.
Probably.
But we'll see how that goes.
it's crazy to think too. Like Stefanski and John Harbaugh got to be like, damn, Josh Allen's available now, and this is what I got. And honestly, I would have rather seen Stefanski with the Giants. I think that would have been very interesting to see how he worked with Jackson Dart. I remember what I was going to say too is that another conditional extension is Brian Flores. If Brian Flores does not get a head coaching job, he has an extension worked out with the Vikings. Now, what I want to see, people have tied him a lot to the Steelers. I want to see him and his defensive mind. Excuse me. I want to see him and his defensive mind with the Ravens. I think you get a good OC to come in there and work with Lamar, and you let him cook with all those weapons that have a defense on the Ravens. That I think is my dream for Brian Flores.
True. Yeah.
And we'll see if he gets another job. I was going to say this as it pertained to Salah too. I'm happy that the Titans are giving him a shot too. You don't often see, I'll just be honest with it. You don't often see non-white coaches get a second chance so fast after the first one didn't work. That's usually something that you'll see with somebody of the lighter complexion, maybe even somebody like a McDaniel's. But you get somebody with the last name Salah and brown skin. They sometimes got to go for a few years back at a coordinator before they get another shot. So I'm very happy that he's getting that.
True. Yeah, B-Flow still not having a head coaching job is insane to me. And I know that there was that whole thing with the Dolphins and all that, and a lot of people came to his defense, and as they rightfully so, obviously. But yeah, I mean, they tried to blame it on him not believing in Tua, but now
Then they
whole
said that he
coaching.
was getting like ordered to tank.
Yeah, and so I don't know. That whole situation was fishy, and I think you just said it. He deserves another shot. The Ravens would be perfect. They really would. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm surprised the Raiders haven't, like, there were all those rumors. I'm surprised they haven't tried to make a splash for what we talked about with him and Dayball. I would have thought that would be a good pairing. And I mean, two guys who have run teams before, getting to kind of like be the number one and number two guys on your totem pole. I feel like that's a good combo. But I don't know. I don't think anybody's getting Curt Cignetti. So unless you're getting one of those guys, these are the guys you got right now.
I'm still curious to see what Arizona's going to do. That's a job that nobody's even trying to touch.
Yeah.
the Raiders and the Cardinals and the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, some jobs that nobody's interested in. But yeah, I think that's it for our football updates. Let's get into the fun stuff. So I know that you've got some questions of the week. Or no, we got to do all due disrespect first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we could do either or, I think. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Drop your all due disrespect.
All right. My all due disrespect this week. So Champagne Poppy has turned litigious Poppy. Drake is trying to sue UMG, Universal Music Group, and Spotify, alleging that the two companies conspired to boost Kendrick's Not Like Us song using bots and payola.
Didn't this happen already?
What's that?
I thought this happened like 6 months ago, a year ago.
Was it that long ago?
I thought this happened already. Didn't it get thrown out?
What's that?
Didn't it get thrown out?
Did it get? I was reading something that it was still open, but I could have been clickbaited. But I mean, regardless, even if this has been resolved and it's over, I still find it hilarious that Drake tried to maintain relevance, and all he was actually giving was insecurity. Trust me, bro, it was not. It was just that popular. Every single person I knew was bumping that song a year ago. So I mean, and the Super Bowl performance was just the cherry on top to all of it. So I mean, to me, like, for him to even think that that's what was going on just shows like the yes man bubble that he's in, the confirmation bias bubble that he's in, and yeah, I mean, just what a dumbass Drake is for thinking that he would get any support for this, that this had any leg to stand on. But yeah, to me, like, I just think this was an absolute asinine move by him to just take the L and move, like, to just not take the L and to not move on, but to just keep dragging this through the mud and keep bringing up a song that literally shit on you for 7 minutes? Like, I don't know. Um, so yeah, I'll do disrespect obviously to Drake for being a little biatch.
My all due disrespect is gonna be for Disney, dog. These motherfuckers ruined Star Wars, man. They
Oh
ruined
man,
Star. Bro,
where have
I'm
you been?
no, I know, but I, I've been a big Star Wars fan since I was a kid. Used to be like a core memory that I have of like growing up is like, as a kid, like not as a an older kid, but like as a kid, like used to have a bedtime and stuff. And the one time that I didn't ever have a bedtime is on the weekends. Spike TV would run those marathons of Star Wars, and my sister and my dad and I would stay up and watch those. Grew up a big Star Wars fan. I got a Star Wars tattoo and everything. And dog, they've done so much bad shit with that franchise since they've gotten it. Um, Episodes, what are the seven, eight, nine? Episodes 8 and 9 were terrible. Um, and then some of the other stuff that they've made, the Acolyte, different stuff like that, have just made it so bad that people just don't care about Star Wars anymore. They've got several new movies coming out, and no one's talking about them because no one cares because it's just been slop. And it's just crazy to see a franchise that, several years ago, if you heard a Star Wars movie was coming out, it would have been humongous. And for them to have
Hmm.
no hype, nobody talking about it, that is, they ran that franchise into the dirt, and it makes me very sad. So, Bob Iger, this one's for you, dog.
Yeah, that was just for them to. I as a kid, I wanted more movies so bad, man. Like I wanted George Lucas to drop another trilogy, but I'm starting to see why he didn't. Not only was his wife all the material, and she didn't want to keep writing them, but um, he also, I mean, yeah, he was done. The story was finished in his eyes, and yeah, I mean, Disney just can't help themselves. They got to just go and try to make money wherever they can by just scooping up all these successful franchises and dragging them. I mean, some of these Marvel shows have been good, but there have been some of these Marvel shows too that have been absolute flops that Disney has had all the control over. And I don't know, to be the most rich company in the world or one of, and to put out such shit content on a regular basis is disappointing.
Honestly. All right. Into the questions of the week. What you got for us?
Questions of the week. Let's do it. All right. First one here. Shout out to the You Should Know podcast. They actually inspired this question. They uh, made my homework a lot easier this week. I want to hear your opinions on this. Um, Big fan of you guys. I think you guys are hilarious. Um, Cam and whatever your other name is, you guys are dope. Sorry to the other guy.
Shout out Cam and the other guy.
um, yeah, you guys have given me a lot of entertainment. So they asked, you have 24 hours to consume 15,000 calories, but you only have one food to do it. What food are you gonna pick? So it's got to be
I
high cal, but it can like I mean it can be filling. It's just up to you. Like if you know.
My big ass has never calculated a calorie ever. I don't know what's even like. I don't know.
So I've read like 160 nuggets would clear it. 160 McNuggets, um, 19 Whoppers, 34 deep fried Twinkies from a carnival. So like there's different stuff like that. Candies, like a lot of candies have like 1,200 calories in a bag. I know Starly could fuck up some candy.
Nah,
Um,
bro, candy like you get you too much sugar, you get that stomach ache.
you might get yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Certain friends like they'll fuck up like 6 bags of Swedish fish. Um,
how many muffins would it take me to clear that?
how many muffins? What
Give me
flavor
some.
muffin are we talking here?
I don't know. Let me smash some
What's your
muffins,
favorite
dog.
muffin? Pause.
Ooh, probably like mixed berry.
All right.
Let me get some
Mixed
mixed
berry.
berry muffins and just smash those. I can eat trays and trays of those.
So there's
Or
about there's some anywhere between like 300 to 600. So let's say like 500, right? We'll give you a
mhm,
little fatty muffins. So
okay.
you've got to eat 500, 15,000 divided by 500. What is that? I got you.
Starly said Swiss rolls. Oh my god. Eating more than like
Oh,
2 of those, you're gonna throw up. Or you're
I could
gonna
do Swiss
or
rolls.
you're gonna or you're gonna shit up your back like a toddler.
Do you think you could eat 30 muffins in 24 hours?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I think you could too. No,
That
I'm
means
just
that
kidding.
that means in 24 hours, 6 times you have to sit down and eat 5 muffins. I think if you give me a joint to split over the course of the day and a day off, I'll have those bitches done in 12 hours. I'm not gonna eat anything else. I'm just gonna eat the muffins all day,
Yeah, that's
and
all
I
you can
promise
do.
you that they'll be gone.
That's all you can do. Yeah, yeah. The 160 nuggets was tempting to me. I think I'd get sick of them after a while.
I would.
Um,
160 of them, not
yeah.
happening.
Okay, you know what I could really mess up is elephant ears.
Ooh, you get sick of the brown
Average.
sugar after so long.
I could start adding ice cream. It's still the same dish.
Oh god,
They're about 500 per two, so I'd have to eat 30. Fuck, I might have
30
to go to
elephant
muffins.
ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, come over with these muffins, dog. That's the move.
Yeah, I think you're right. They're a little more light. I'm not a muffin guy though, dude. What about some Dunkin' Donuts glazed donuts? I could mess up some Dunkin' Donuts.
Bro, you're going to get sick eating that many of them. They're too
You're gonna
sweet.
get sick eating 30 muffins.
I
Mixed
don't think
berry
so.
muffins. You're
I
gonna be
don't think
pooping
so.
purple for a week.
Okay. It's it's gonna look like the Bloods and Crips made into lions in my stomach.
Tune into our first 24-hour stream. Spencer and I each try to consume 15,000 calories.
Hey, speaking of which, as it pertains to eating some stuff, if you guys didn't see from the last episode, if the Denver Broncos somehow upset the Patriots in the AFC Championship, Kyle said he's going to eat a half of the one chip challenge on our live episode.
Hell
So
yeah.
stay tuned for that. Everyone should be rooting for the Broncos.
I almost am for the content's sake.
What's your next question? How many questions do you have?
I got two I really liked. I could definitely. I have a third one I could maybe work out, but you
Let's
had one too. So let's do my two and then.
no, let's do your two and then I'll save mine because we're getting a little late in the episode. So let's do your
Okay,
two.
just do my two. Do my second one
Yeah.
right now. All right.
Yeah.
So this one's back to football real quick. You can steal one player from the Lions division. Who are you stealing? So Bears, Packers, Vikings. You get one player to add to our team right now. Who you picking?
That is a very, very, very tough decision. On one hand, you could do Caleb Williams or Jordan Love. On the other hand, you could do Micah Parsons.
I hadn't even thought about him, but that is so my pick.
And I haven't even said Justin Jefferson.
Ooh, true.
I don't know if we already have so many receivers. And I don't know if Jared Goff really can drive the car like that. But I do think that I would rather have Caleb or Jordan Love as our quarterback. I think Jordan Love would be better at our scheme than Caleb would. Caleb is so off timing. You've got those great receivers and stuff, but honestly, I think that if you got a healthy Micah and you added that to the man, I don't know. It's between I think it's because I don't love our offensive coordinator either. So I'm like, you put Caleb out there with our team and just say, fuck it, go make something happen. That motherfucker might make some things happen.
Yeah,
Although it, but at the same time, Micah might solve a lot of our. Give me Micah Parsons.
Yeah, that's a great pick. That is a great pick. I mean, yeah, you got Devondre Sweat, whatever his first name is,
Swift
from the Bears. He's a good edge rusher, but nobody touches Micah. What's that?
Nothing. Montez Sweat.
Yes. Thank you, Montez. Yeah, and nobody touches Micah. Nobody touches Jettas. If we're talking at quarterback, I agree that I think Jay Love would be better for this system. I think Caleb would be asked to be put honestly, probably similar to what Hendon Hooker was probably asked to do when he was on our team. He'd be put into a position that he's not comfortable with, and he would either have to go start forcing stuff on his own, or he would start falling. Yeah, Micah's probably the best one. Darnell Wright, the right tackle for the Bears, I wouldn't mind him as either of our tackles aside Penei. So whatever side Penei wanted to switch, if he wanted to switch to left, he could switch to left. That's probably the way they'd go with that. But yeah, I think he'd be a good addition too. But nobody beats Micah, in my
I think
opinion.
that
And
Micah and Hutch on the defensive line. I feel like it's just like, all right, we might have some issues on offense, but the defense go out there and wreck shit.
yeah, defense is gonna have like 35 sacks this year. Like, yeah. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, that's a good one. That's a good choice. Yeah,
cool.
that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for another edition of Questions of the Week. I'll
I
get a
need to.
soundboard where I can start playing that.
I need to record you doing that, upload it, copyright it, and then you won't be able to sing it anymore. Then it'll get copyrighted.
We get struck on YouTube and you're like, worth it? Worth it?
All right, everybody.
Oh,
Thank you
geez.
for tuning in, rocking with us for another episode of Late Entry. If you're not already, follow us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram. But yeah, we'll catch you back. Real quick, just in case you missed the Sunday episode somehow. We already did our picks for the games this weekend. Um, we're both picking the Rams and we're both picking the Patriots. So just
Yep.
in case anyone was curious about that.
Also, I keep doing it too. We need to start remembering to say they're actually Monday episodes. We record them on Sundays. We post them on Mondays to you guys. So if you
Thank
missed our
you.
Monday episode, I do it all the time, and I just thought about it the other day. But yeah, if you guys missed our Monday episode, go back and give it a listen. And also, yeah, those are our picks. We made the same choices, right?
Also,
We both picked Seahawks and
I
Patriots, right?
I misspoke. We're both rooting for the Rams, but we're both picking the Seahawks.
Right,
That's what I
right.
meant to say. And then I have Seahawks winning the Super Bowl. Did you also?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, you'll see us again on Monday with our Sunday recaps.
Thank
Have a
you,
good night,
Starly.
everybody. Late entry, we out.